by the American.
Also continuing our detailed reports on the ongoing U.S. government shutdown, we now have an exclusive segment featuring ITV Gold very own immigration attorney and the host of ITV Gold's program, The Indo-American Passage, Dave Viswanath. The government partially shut down at midnight on December 22nd. The shutdown currently affects about 1/4 of the government, including 9 cabinet-level departments. Bringing his take on contemporary legal issues and their dissections into mainstream American politics, they provided Vision of Asia viewers some insights into the ongoing national issue of the shutdown and its impact on the immigration system. Let's take a look.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your U.S. immigration attorney, Dave Viswanath with the Viswanath Law Offices. I want to talk to you a little bit about the government shutdown, okay? Everybody knows that we've just reached or finished our 3rd week with the U.S. government shutdown. This is a partial government shutdown. We have about 800,000 federal workers that are out of work, and it really has hit several factors and different levels of the U.S. government. You know, Social Security Office, Medicare, Medicaid have all been covered already. Many aspects of the U.S. Justice Department has already been covered. But there are other areas like Department of Homeland Security that have been affected, including Immigration and Customs Enforcement, including the immigration courts in the Department of Justice, and removal proceedings. Right now, we're dealing with only removal cases that are in detention, okay? So all other removal deportation cases have been suspended. If anybody has hearings that are up right now, they're most likely going to be canceled and rescheduled. Also, we're dealing with the issue of where are the funds going, what's going on. President Trump has had several meetings with Democratic leadership. The Republican Party has basically said that the Democratic Party needs to get on some sort of plane with the president in order to make a decision. And if the Democrats can come to terms with the president, then they can talk about a bipartisan bill. Because the Senate, controlled by Republicans, has already said that they will not move a bill forward if the president won't sign it. Now, the last meeting that President Trump had with Senator Chuck Schumer, which is the minority leader, as well as the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, President Trump walked out on the meeting. He basically said it was a waste of time. He asked Nancy Pelosi one question, will you give me a wall? She said no. He said thank you, got up and left. So that's where we stand. There's really no clear line in sight. I think that folks are in for the long haul. Hopefully we will see some movement as pressure mounts by society, by people at home. But until then, we are going to see a few areas of U.S. government in shutdown. And right now, we're crossing the longest government shutdown in over a decade. You know, the one with President Obama in 2013 was a total of 13 days, but now we're crossed well into our 3rd week. So it's a terrible time, and that's something to think about. People are asking us about the U.S. immigration, how it's affected by the government shutdown, particularly with USCIS. Well, I'm here to say that as a general proposition, USCIS is self-funded. That means that they are not intuitively affected by the government shutdown. However, there are aspects of immigration that are, okay? That includes E-Verify, which is the platform for employers to find out if their employees are actually legal and able to work in the United States. The Conrad J-1 waiver program for medical professionals that are working in underprivileged areas. The EB-5 regional centers, that's for investors, as well as for non-priest religious workers. So R1 workers that are not priests. All of those 4 areas are no longer being worked on during this government shutdown. In addition to that, people in removal proceedings are also affected by the government shutdown as long as it's non-detained cases. Now let's talk a little bit about what does that mean for people that have their citizenship, or what about people that have permanent resident applications. Really, it just means that there might be either more workers to work on those cases because they don't have to deal with other things, or it could be in a little bit of disarray because workers are disgruntled, okay? But as a general proposition, ladies and gentlemen, the already long wait periods that we've seen in USCIS will just continue. It should be status quo for most of you. Let's talk a little bit about the H-4 visas, okay? These are dependents of the H-1. You know, for the last few years now, people who are on H-4 visa, if their H-1 primary beneficiary was also a beneficiary of a permanent residence application, then the spouse of that worker could get work authorization under an H-4 So an employment authorization document under the H-4. Well, now the administration has moved to terminate the H-4 EAD. Okay, so that's something that we're going to be seeing ending very, very soon. And the likelihood is we won't see it back until there's a major shift in immigration law or a change in administrative policy.